Jordan, you playing Sunday?
Of course, mate. It's a ridiculous question.
Is it? Is it? I mean, so I guess was not practicing the past 2 days kind of just to kind of with the quick turnaround, kind of just to monitor it and the ankle injury and figure out what was going on there.
Yeah, pretty much. Just wanted to stay on top of it, do some maintenance on it, and let it rest. I think it was important that I got together with the medical staff and figured out an action plan to move forward, and they saw that this was the best way, and so we did it, and we're still doing it, and all I know is I'll be ready for Sunday. So yeah.
Go ahead, Martin, and then EJ.
Hey, Jordan, glad you're feeling better. Anyway, I was wondering, with all the moving parts on the offensive line, to see a guy like Sua kind of step in, what did that mean for you guys, and how do you think he did?
Oh, Sua stepping in is, we've been there before, with the whole. You guys talk about last year how was it 13 or 14 different starting O-line combinations, so it was just for us. We just know the way that we prepare just to be ready, the next man up. That's our mantra in that room as well. We have so many mantras, but that's just the one thing that Stout always emphasizes is your time. Your time is coming, and I think they do a great job of preparing everybody. I mean, Sua's case, Sua stays prepared all year long. That dude is jacked and ready to go, and he's a hungry dog. And so, you get a guy like Sua coming in, that he's ready, he's confident, and it just shows in the work that he does.
Go ahead, EJ, and then Dave.
Hey, Jordan. I wanted to get your reaction to not making the Pro Bowl. Was that disappointing for you, and do you feel like you played well enough to make it this year?
I'll be honest, man. I haven't really given much thought to the Pro Bowl snub. It's more. I think I care more for Lane. I think Lane's one of the best tackles in this game, and I know for me, I if I look at myself in the mirror, I know I have a long way to go before I even make those Pro Bowls. There's so much stuff that I need to clean up on my own tape, but there's one tackle I model myself after, it's Lane, and I just feel for Lane in that regard. More for them myself, just because I know that I'm still starting up. Nobody knows my name, but they will one day. So I'm gonna keep working hard so I can put that respect myself on myself, put the respect on myself, and make the league aware. But until then, I know that the sun's still shining, the checks are still clearing, and I love playing for the city.
If I could follow up really quick, I mean, what's it been like watching Lane, knowing what he's gone through this year, still play at such a high level?
Like I said, I model my game after Lane. He's a true leader in that room when it comes to being a player, a person, and a leader. When you think about all the stuff that he's been through and to overcome and come back and play at the high level that he's been playing, it just shows you, the class athlete that he is. One of the best tackles in the game, and for him to just keep doing it over and over and week in and week out, it's truly a shame that he got snubbed, to be honest. I think there's a lot of guys on this team that, have play at a very high level, and it's just a shame. We know that they're really good and that they're probably regarded as one of the best in their positions, but as long as we know that and we play to our strengths and we keep playing our game plan, I think that's all we should worry about right now. I mean, my focus is on this weekend's game. Not worried about the Pro Bowl anymore. Trying to win games this Sunday.
We have time for two more, so go ahead, Dave, and then Zach.
Hey, Jordan, what did you think of Devontae's three-point stance?
I'll tell you what, I thought I was seeing ghosts when I saw Devontae line up next to me. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I knew that we were doing a QB sneak, and I saw the D end line up, in between Smitty and I was just like, this is not gonna go good. I don't want Smitty to block this DN by himself. So I kind of thought it was hilarious that we designed that play like that. So it was definitely. I'm not sure if it's a one and done, but I believe in Smitty to do that block. But I just needed to slow it down for him, just so he didn't get his helmet or skull cracked from that D end.
Go ahead, Zach.
Hey, Jordan, you posted something the other night kind of apologizing for the way you played. What was the reason for that or the story behind that?
I think it was because, because of Stout and because of Kelsey and because of Lane and the standard that they've set in that room, I know that, that first half I truly fell below the standard. And, I went to the fans as well. I think the one misconception, with all the hate that we get from the fans is, all how the players interacted as the fans hate us, but they don't. I think they're just very passionate about being a hard worker. And I know one thing that they respect is if you give all your effort and you be a hard worker, that's all it comes down to at the end of the day, if you're giving your best effort. And, and so for me, I know that first half wasn't my best effort. And, I just felt like it was a much needed apology. So sometimes I feel like the fans hold us accountable as well. And just as much as, our O-line room and our O-line coach and everybody else in the O-line. So I just felt it was, it was right to do. So, that was just me. Something from the heart.
Thanks for the time, Jordan.
Appreciate you guys having me. Merry Christmas.
Hey, Tarron, happy holidays. Thanks for doing this. We've obviously been seeing you play a little bit more as the season's gone on. Where have you grown the most in your – sorry, it's my kids screaming in the background. Where have you grown the most in your game over the last, 13, 14 weeks? And why do you think you've earned more playing time?
I think the biggest area that I've grown in is just, kind of understanding what I need to do from the techniques and stuff that they're teaching me. So that's probably the biggest area that I've grown in, in the run game, understanding the angles and stuff that I need to take, improving my get off and things of that nature. And I think that's the reason that I've earned a little bit more playing time, because the coaches see, day in and day out, come in early, make sure I'm doing what I need to do, and working hard to make sure that I'm getting better every week.
Go ahead, Rube, and then John McMullen.
Did you think you would get to this point where you were playing, 15, 20 snaps a game when you look back to training camp and how slowly things were coming? I think you talked about, just the adjustments and everything. How far do you feel like you've come since then? And did you, were you confident you would get to this point?
Yeah, so I'm confident in myself. Even, from high school to college, I always knew that to get to wherever I had to get to, that all I had to do was, put in the work. So, I was confident that I was going to get to, start getting more playing time. I just didn't know when, so every day and every week, come in and talk to some of my defensive coaches, and try to every week improve on the areas, that I struggled with the previous week. And just, continually doing that, and just getting a little bit better. I think just 1% better every day, every week, that helps. So, that's kind of what's making me trend up.
Go ahead, John, and then Rob.
Hey, Tarron, how helpful have the veteran guys been for you this year? I mean, you got a lot of experience, Derek, Josh, Ryan, and Brandon's still around, even though he got hurt. How helpful have all those guys been for you?
I can't even put it into words, man. They've been huge for me. DB, Ryan, BG, man. BG, he always giving me pep talks, make sure that I'm staying motivated, and knowing that, I got to just keep trying to get better every week. I think those guys have been part of the reason that I've been trending upwards, before practices and stuff. They kind of come out sometimes, talk to me, help me work on my game whenever I'm with the coaches and stuff. So having veteran guys that, have been there and have that experience, I just try to absorb everything, man. So maybe I can get a couple steps, from where they've been. So, I just trying to learn from them, and continue to grow.
Go ahead, Rob.
Tarron, how about the veterans and their involvement with you off the field? I mean, it's obviously Christmas week. You're going to be away from family. What's their help on that front? And how does a guy that's as young as you, like, how do you handle that, being away from family?
It's pretty rough being away from the family, man. You know, me, I've been pretty much home, you know, every year from college. But those guys around, they kind of make around right now in Philly feel like home. So it hasn't been too bad. You know, during Thanksgiving when I didn't go home, I went to BG house, man, ate with his family, and I swear it felt just like I was at home. So it's been good. You know, I have a family here too now. So you know, we just gonna keep getting ready for these next couple games. You know, grinding out the rest of the season.
We have time for 2 more, so go ahead, Dave, and then Mike.
Hey, Tarron, I've seen a lot of fans and former players and current players at Coastal Carolina on social media really excited for you. What's that support been like?
It's great, man. Knowing that you still have a college family that roots for you and that's cheering for you, it's amazing, man. It just speaks wonders for the culture and things that's at Coastal Carolina, man. Like, when I say, you know, that was the best decision that I made to go to at Coastal, you know, I always have family there.
Go ahead, Mike.
Tarron, just a two-parter for you. A lot of young players talk about getting that first sack, and then it kind of clicks. Can you take us through, I know it was a bit ago, but against the Lions, how much that kind of helped your confidence? And then the second part is, you know, you and Brandon have very similar body types and skill sets. How much do you watch his tape when you're preparing for games?
Could you? I didn't hear the first part. Could you read it again? I'm sorry. It kind of broke up.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So, you know, a lot of young players talk about getting that first sack, and then it kind of like clicks, and it's kind of like a really big, you know, reinforcement for confidence. What was that like getting that first sack in Detroit, and then obviously with Brandon Graham having a similar game to you, how much do you study his film to kind of improve?
Yeah. It was great getting that first sack, man. It was a big confidence booster, man. You know, I have moves and stuff that every practice, you know, I'm trying to work on, trying to, you know, sharpen that iron to get better and to get a sack in the game is definitely a big confidence booster with the amount of, you know, playing time that I'm getting. Brandon's definitely a big guy that I watch. I watched Brandon, you know, kind of growing up too. So some of his moves were kind of already, you know, incorporated into what I do. Him and DB are two of the, you know, kind of similar body types to me. So those are the two guys that I feel like I watched the most and kind of molded my game from. So definitely BG and DB were two guys that, you know, I kind of watched and, you know, just trying to incorporate some of the stuff that worked for them. You know, it works for me too.
Okay. Hey, Sua, I was kind of interested in, I mean, you got the chance to start, you know, this past game against Washington and everything. Like, you know, with everything that's going on with the COVID situation, injuries and stuff like that, I mean, is this like a perfect type of example of like how you just always have to be ready no matter what?
Yeah, especially with COVID these past couple of years, it's definitely added to like that sort of awareness to where you have to be ready to play anywhere. So, I mean, going into the week, Stout even told me, like, just be ready. And he just tells me every week, be ready, because it's bound to happen, you know, sooner or later.
Go ahead, John, and then Bo.
Hey, Sue. Speaking of Stout, a couple of guys have kind of talked about the standard that he places upon you guys. You've obviously had tremendous success running the football. No matter the changes, you were the latest one to come in there, and you still had that kind of success. Can you kind of take us behind what that standard is and what Stout preaches?
Yeah, so Stout's standard is, you know, just to be very physical in the run game. And the thing about Stout is he's very detailed in how we hit our blocks. So, you know, the more we can detail it out, the better, the more success we'll have when we're hitting our combinations or our displacement blocks just in the run game. So he's very detailed in the run game, and it helps us block the way that we do.
Go ahead, Bo, and then Zach.
Hey, Sua. You know, Jason Kelsey said the line the other day about how the Sua Opeta stock is like rising like Tesla. What was your reaction to that? Has that been sort of a running theme in the offensive line room? And what is your relationship like with Kelsey?
Yeah, it's been brought up a few times. It's nice to hear though that I'm being compared to Tesla stock. I guess maybe before, but yeah, it's just been something that's been going on in the O line room. I've been working really hard to get where I am, so it's kind of the comparison they've made there. And Kelsey's been really helpful for me in my game. I really try and model my game after him, the way he runs off of the ball in the run game and just how he hits blocks. It's really, really inspiring. And that's how I want to play. So that's what I try and do.
Do you have sort of a favorite Kelsey story?
Favorite Kelsey story? I can't think of one off the top of my head. No.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Zach, and then Ed.
Hey, so as a follow-up to that, what was your first impression of Jason Kelsey when you first met him?
That he was a really down to earth guy, because coming to Philadelphia, the first thing I saw on Jason Kelsey was his speech after the Super Bowl. So, not really knowing what to expect, meeting him, he was really cool. Very down to earth.
We'll take two more here. Go ahead, Ed, and then Rob. Ed, I think you might be muted.
Sorry about that. Sua, can you hear me?
Yep.
I just wanted to ask you, you came into the Eagles as an undrafted free agent, I think, in 2019 from Weber State. How tough is that to kind of, come from that, small school environment into the NFL, and how are you different now than you were when you first got here?
It's I'd say for me a lot of it was in my head, like, I'm competing against all these bigger school guys, not knowing what to expect, and then I come into OTAs and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm hanging with all of them, blocking them, locking them up in the pass game, and my confidence just skyrocketed ever since then. And then I knew, like, I can play in the NFL, and from there I just trusted Stout's coaching, and from my rookie year until now, like, just my confidence and trusting in my own ability has skyrocketed.
If I could just follow up, was there any moment in particular you can point to when you felt like, yeah, I can hang with these guys?
Not in particular. I would just say it was coming into rookie minicamp and OTAs that first year.
Go ahead, Rob.
Just wanted to ask you, Sua, about Kelsey a little bit. When you were being discussed as somebody that would step in and potentially play, he said Sua's stock is hotter than Tesla right now. I'm wondering if you heard that comment. Is your stock hotter than Tesla right now? Do you have any cash in Tesla or no?
I don't have any cash in Tesla, but if there was a Sua stock, I would invest in that.